Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Deosminyatadi.
Denosminatadi.
Komaram Yomaram Jara.
Komaram Yovanam Jara.
Tata Dehantara Prapti.
Tata Dehantara Prapti.
Dhirastatra Namoyanti.
Dhirastatra Namoyanti.
Hina.
Dhira.
Of the embodied.
Of the embodied.
Asmin.
Asmin.
In this.
In this.
Yatha.
Yata.
Is.
Is.
Dehe.
Dehe.
In the body.
In the body.
Komaram.
Komanam.
Boyhood.
Boyhood.
Yovanam.
Yovanam.
Youth.
Youth.
Jara.
Jara.
Old age.
Old age.
Tata.
Tata.
Similarly.
Similarly.
Dehantara.
Dehantara.
Transference of the body.
Transference of the body.
Prapti.
Prapti.
Achievement.
Achievement.
Hira.
Tira.
The sober.
The sober.
Tata.
Tata.
Thereupon.
Thereupon.
Na.
Na.
Never.
Never.
Muyanti.
Muyanti.
Diluted.
Deluded.
Translation. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakta Swami Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Since every living entity has an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering, according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have either spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment for material existence. So in either case there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never diluted by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground of the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme soul being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portion of the supreme exists eternally, sanatana, and are called kshara. That is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge, with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the Supersoul, who is present in each and every individual body and is known as the Paramatma, who is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represent both the sun and the moon, and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities, and the sun or the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the super soul, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of the 4th chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then their relationship of instructor and instructed becomes meaningless. If both of them are diluted by the illusionary energy Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless, because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be an authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity, Arjuna, who is forgotten soul deluded by Maya. I offer my humble obeisances to my spiritual master, A.C. Bhakta Swami Prabhupada, who has opened my eyes to the torchlight of knowledge. Boyhood, youthhood, old age, all the different stages of the body, right? We undergo those changes. We're born, we get older, all these different things. We change the body constantly. And we understand that we're the observer all the time. We realize that something beside the body is causing the body to be alive, right? It's not just the body, right? I'll take my consciousness will leave the body will stop developing, changing, all those different things. So there is something higher than just the body or even the mind, our existence. But materialistic scientists, so on and so on, the modern science is based on this theory, this fanatic theory that there is actually no life. Everything is matter. Everything is basically a reflection of interaction with chemicals or different things. So, but when the general mass comes and inquires, well, why death is forced upon us, right? Why we have to suffer over and over again? They cannot answer that. They say in the future we'll be able to resolve this problem, death, old age, disease. We'll simply figure out some chemicals or whatever and make a nice mix, a cocktail, and everybody going to be living eternally. But this is not science. It's basically science fiction. You can write nicely books about it, but not. It's not really practical. But in this Bhagavad Gita, the theistic science of how to the science of what is the self, the soul, that we discussed, not the body. We are the self, the soul, right? If I'll cut your hand, for example, throw it to the trash, are you in the trash, or the hand is in the trash? Right? The hand is in the trash. Not your hand, not your legs, not your head, not your hair, all the different things. But we're very much lamenting about all those changes, right? I was growing, and I was starting to get hair in all different places. I was like, oh my God, I'm changing my body. What is happening? And similarly, we go and grow up. But for some reason, instead of inquiring why is this change forced upon us, we get diluted by ignorance. We say, we live only once, let us enjoy the body very nicely. When Srila Prabhupada he was trying to cultivate in India all the great politicians, social figures, he came and he said, why don't you take this up, this Krishna consciousness? Please, do something actually that will solve all the miseries of the human condition. And they simply say, oh, Swamiji, we don't need now the Bhagavad Gita, we need science. Science, modern science. That's why we send our people to the West, so they can study very nicely engineering, this, that, hearing, all those different things, and come back to India and inspire the people. But what is that science? How to sleep, how to mate, how to dress up nicely, build some cardboard houses. It's not better than animals. The opposite. The animals, they're very much relaxed. Right? The animal, the birds, the cows, they rise up in the morning with the first light of the day, right? They're not lazy, they go out very, very joyfully, they go collect their food, whatever, and they live their life nicely, without any agitations. But we, for some reason, are very much a fan of making our life more and more complicated, right? Instead of utilizing whatever God already gave us, He gave us the grains, the cows, everything. What do? We say, no, we're going to create some artificial enjoyments, right? Some big cities, big skyscrapers, right? Some bars, some discotheques, some banks, this profession, that profession, country, nation, tie everyone really nicely around it, so no one gonna get out and start let the house burn on flame with all the people inside, and forget that we are not animals, you see, but the opposite, the science causing us to be more animalistic. Instead of relying on the basic necessities, we think that, no, we should have some higher enjoyment. I'm not going to drink my cup of glass, or whatever cup of water, from an iron glass. I'm going to get a golden glass. It will taste better. I'm not going to live on the ground on the first floor, but I'm going to live on the 10th floor, 20th floor, 30th floor. But the sleeping is the same, right? The eating is the same.
Yeah.
I personally, I didn't try to drink from like a golden cup or whatever, but the taste never changes. You close your eyes, it's the same thing, even with the eyes open, anyways. And they still rely on those enjoyments as if that was the goal in life. But unfortunately, when death comes, you see, we have to give up. We have to transmigrate. And where are we going? Do we know? Do we know where are we going?
Goloka Vrindavan.
Jai, hopefully, you see. If we self-realize, if we sober, if we understand that we're not this body, not theoretically, right? If we go to India, everybody knows about reincarnation, we're not this body, right? But what are they doing? Why they are coming here and learning engineering, learning science, learning computers? They should preach this message. They should inspire everyone. All the great sages of India should come here to the West and inspire all the world, so they will change their attitude. So they're not going to be concerned about what they wear, how they look, right? This people are very much fan of all the so-called culture, right? If I'm dressed in a certain way, people are going to think about me like this, like that. We're always concerned about what people think. How do we look, right? Even entangled in all this nonsense. And the more we entangle with the senses, right? The more we become addicted. The senses is simply like a fire. You see, you throw oil in the fire, you throw ghee in the fire. What happens? It just increases. Then you need to put more and more. Lust is never satisfied. Lust is just increasing. You see. So instead of understanding that we cannot have pleasure that will be suitable for the soul, because the soul, the self, is eternal. You see, in Bhagavad Gita, it's a wonderful shloka. Krishna says, "Natu evam chatunasam natvam neme janadipa nachaivanam bhavishamaha sarve avayam vatapara." Never there was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all the kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. When is the body restless? The mind, the self? Never. Even when we go to sleep, we go to bed, we have dreams, we think about this thing, that thing. People simply, they trying to do, stop the thinking, right? Meditate about nothing, about void. But this is foolishness. How do they come back to the interaction with their with the material world? With the same thinking, with the same mind. So we need to find a process that will elevate us to the eternal platform, to the platform that never ceases to be. Right now, we so profound in the body that we go so-called get education, and what that education teaches us? How to entangle us more with the senses, with the family, with the community, nationality. And by the time of that, what do? We contemplate on that. Oh, my wife, my friends, my nationality, my country, what's going to happen? And we get a body. Which body? We don't know. But we have to go through that again. We have to go through birth, old age, disease. We went so many times already. Just like when we in this material body, we trying to take care of the body, right? We're preparing the body for the winter, for the summer, changing our the clothes we have in the closet, all those different things. If we're not careful, we go take a hot shower and we go outside right away, right? Not dressed enough, we're gonna get disease in the same day, right? We're gonna suffer. So similarly, if we're not taking care of our self-realization, if we're not becoming a dhira, if we're becoming a mudha, we're gonna get a suitable body. Because this body is an opportunity, just like in the ocean, right? If we don't have a boat, we will be carried away. We're gonna die, we're gonna suffocate. But this human body, this human form, is a boat to cross over this material ocean, Srila Prabhupada says, or the material ocean of nescience, or this material ocean of suffering. There is nothing here. No enjoyment. No bliss. Everything is stool. Wet stool, dry stool, it's all the same. People say, I'm gonna make my life a little bit more comfortable, right? Gonna give some charity, it's gonna go back, gonna get some good karma, gonna help my friends, my family, my community. But this is all the same. Eventually you have to die, you have to leave all those things and get another body, suffer more, you see. So we have to understand that we need to take advantage, but take advantage with an actual use our mind, not the false ego. You see, the entanglement with the body doesn't allow us to think soberly. Just like a man went to the bar, he had a couple drinks or whatever. He cannot drive, right? If you're gonna drive, you're gonna end up probably very badly. If not badly, then the police will catch him and take his driver license, or all those different things.
So the body by itself is an intoxication. We all the time we're looking for the to enjoy through the senses, enjoy the body. Go take I don't know, a nice hot shower, or eat some nice food stuff, all those different things, and forget about what we actually have to do with the body. We have to get out of the material conception. We have to understand that we are not belong to this material sphere. If we observe our activities, right? We all the time we looking for something eternal, right? If simply we will, for example, I'll meet a friend and I'll tell him, I'm gonna, I'm gonna go somewhere in a year or whatever, go somewhere else. But let us be friends for a little while. It's not possible. We'll be very in anxiety. This is not friendship. Friendship, love, is meant to be unconditioned, eternal. But no matter what kind of promise we're going to make to each other, we have to go. The body is finished. We have to transmigrate. We have to take other body. Why? Because we cannot accept. We cannot accept our eternal activity. We cannot accept that we don't belong to the sphere of working, gratify our senses, then working more, some holiday, coming back to work, all those different things. We cannot accept simply that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is our Lord, and we have to serve Him, you see. But service is not worship. Worship, you can do it blindly. You can how do you say? Someone might force you to do it even, but service is out of love. You see, the man serves the woman out of love. He doesn't serve her because someone is pushing him. Oh, you have to serve her, or I'm gonna I don't know, kick on your face with boots. No, he does that because, yes, because he wants something, but ultimately we're all looking for love, you see. And Krishna, he is very, he wants us to come back to him, come back to our true activity, that we're not going to get tired of that. Just like in our center, we chant all the day and night. We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This activity never ceases to be. You see, just like the soul, we are eternal, and there must be an eternal activity that we will do. If we simply, like the Maya bodies, they say, oh, I'll go, we'll get liberated, and then we will become one with God. We'll become aloof from material existence. That's very nice, but what are you doing there? Okay, there is no suffering, but if there is no bliss, why should we stay there? Who can be stuck in one place? Right? If we make an experiment, I will put someone in the room and we'll tell him, you just sit here and do nothing. He's gonna go crazy. So we have to have some bliss in order to actually keep ourselves in that association or that sphere or whatever. So it's not it's not practical. Srila Prabhupada explains it. It's not practical just to try to attain just artificial liberation. Seize the senses, not to artificially suppress them or whatever. We have to have some activity. And this Krishna consciousness is so nice, this process of self-realization. You don't need to come pure to the state of a Paramahamsa and then you can do Krishna consciousness. You simply chant. Everyone can do that. The animals, they cannot chant, they hear. the humans, the children, grown-ups, old people, everyone. You see, you simply work with your tongue with two functions. The tongue, actually, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, the tongue should be used for two things: taking nice prasadam, speaking about Krishna, or with Krishna, chanting the Maha Mantra. Very, very simple, you see. But we envious. Why should I serve Krishna? Why should I surrender? I have this nice material opulence, this nice stool in my body, nice bones. Why should I do it? There was a nice pastime of Lord Indra. He was degraded into a hog species, if you know about it. And Lord Brahma, he came to him, he told him, come back, I'll take you back to your position, you know. But Lord Indra was very reluctant. He told Lord Brahma, oh, how can I leave my family? I have my hog wife, hog kids, right? Tomorrow I'm going to have intercourse with them. Like, how? How I will do it? So the same thing with us. We think that those material, the pleasure, the so-called pleasure that we derive from our material activities, is our true propensity. That this is pleasure. Such a foolishness. You see, Krishna comes here and he tells us, please come back, enjoy with me eternally, play with the cows, eat some nice fruits, dance, chant. No work, no need to work, no need to take care of the body. The body, you're not the body. Very, very nice, you see. We're not embodied, actually. But we don't want to accept it. The fools and rascals, they think that Krishna is just like them, just like a human being. So when he comes here, they ask, whoa, why he is not suffering? So, just like all the great spiritual masters, like Lord Jesus Christ, or Moses, Muhammad, all those different personalities, the first thing they did is to crucify them, to kick on their faces. Oh, you are not illusioned or ignorant as us, so you cannot speak the truth. It's not possible. The brain is, we are so dull-headed. So we must take the shelter of our Srila Prabhupada, bona fide spiritual master, and do what we actually supposed to do. We're supposed to be Krishna conscious. We're supposed to realize who we really are. You see, this process by itself is self-sufficient. If we follow Srila Prabhupada and become his disciple, become his become the devotee of Krishna through his direction, we take the directions and follow this very, very simple process of chanting, dancing, following the 4 eggs, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating. And we simply try to get closer to the Lord, to Krishna. We automatically, from the very beginning, we're liberated. Right? There's a very nice statement in Ramayana book. The Lord says that whoever once, even once, sincerely, he says, from now on, my Lord,
I surrender.
I'm surrendered to you. Lord Rama, he says, I'm obliged to take this devotee of the material miseries. You see, the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita. The last chapter, conclusions,
perfection of renunciation, stayed very nicely. Sarva dharma parityaja mamikam saranavraja aham tvam sarva papavyo moksheshami masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. We simply abandon all the rituals, all the so-called atonement processes, right? The Vedas are they're full of, if you do this, you can contract it for this activity. Don't do this, you're gonna get this karma, that karma. We simply stop it and we simply chant Hare Krishna. So simple, you see. The only thing that Srila Prabhupada asks is to be sincere, not to respect the spiritual master, to accept him, to follow the 4 regs, chant 16 rounds a day, associate with devotees, render service, seva, to the spiritual master, and the process self-sufficient. We already liberated from the very beginning. Hare Krishna. So, any questions?
In the first line you tell me about the difference between Krishna and Arjuna. But I can't understand.
What's the difference between Krishna?
Arjuna and Krishna?
Krishna is the instructor, you see, and Arjuna is student. He's taking direction from here. Similarly to a spiritual master and his disciple. If we do not make that distinction, there is no point for the Bhagavad Gita. A lot of commentators on the Bhagavad Gita, they say that Krishna, Arjuna, me, the soul, it's all one, it's all the same. Krishna is, like they say, the God from within, whatever, all those different things. Yes, God acting as a super soul, as our conscious, but we have to follow what he says. We have to make the discriminations. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, he laments about the body. He thinks just like we wake up in the morning, we're tired, no time to take a bath, oh, need to brush your teeth, all those different things. It's hard. We suffer, right? But we suffer because the rope that ties us with the body is very, very strong. You see? And everyone around us, all our association, they're just making it stronger, even more. We associate with different friends, relatives, right? And we all the time hear someone praising our body, we praising their body, all those different things. We speak about material things. We interact on a material basis. So how can we understand that we're not the body? We must have a bona fide association that will elevate us. You see? It's like you come here to the temple. You see? The topics that we speak about, Krishna Katha, doesn't entangle you with any material thing. The opposite, it's cuts the rope. If we're sincere, if we hear with sincerity, you see, we hear with how can I solve the problems of life and death? How can I become aloof from my material existence, entanglement? Then the spiritual master will provide the answers. But people, they want something material. They come to the spiritual master, how can I get a better job? How can I get a nicer body? How can I stop the body from getting old, right? But they cannot achieve anything really, because the spiritual master cannot provide it. Spiritual master means he enlightening with the spiritual topics. He lights up our, opens our eyes with torch of knowledge. The Westerners, they, Columbus, all those different discoverers, navigators, they used to try to get to India to find
how do you call it?
Fountain of
Fountain of youth, right? But they couldn't understand that the fountain of youth is not connected to the body. Yes, India has the fountain of youth, but we cannot see it, we cannot touch it, and we cannot taste it. We can hear it. The Vedic knowledge, you see. And as the Vedic knowledge, it contains everything, but we must stick to the conclusion, and the conclusion is Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. You see, we can stay on some material platform, and we can stay like a lot of yogis. They take a certain process and they remain Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yogi, this yogi, that yogi. But if we want to become actually aloof from material existence, we have to take the highest, Bhakti Yoga. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I can only be understood by my devotional service. So if anyone is really interested in some spiritual elevation, something that will never cease to exist in his heart, is actually already here in our heart. That's why we are tired. You know, we're tired from material existence. Baby is crying. We cannot keep ourselves concentrated because we are used so much to get everything right here, right now, right? But spirituality is not like that. We have to go drop by drop by drop, and if we're sincere, then we can understand. We have to hear, engage the hearing, Shravanam, right? I hope it answers the question.
You were mentioning that the body is already an intoxication. Can you elaborate on that? How is it an intoxication, the body?
Yeah, the body, basically because we were desiring in the past to have a certain, to be in a certain condition, to just a second, if you can hold it for a minute, sorry. So, because we already desired a certain body to enjoy in a certain way, and Krishna is a wish-fulfilling tree. He simply supplies us everything that we desire, be it material or spiritual. He has to fulfill it, because Krishna is a super soul, and he's not evil, not bad. He wants us to be happy, but we are the rascals. You see, we think that we the only thing we can enjoy is material. So the body by itself gives us this opportunity. Simply just like Srila Prabhupada gives this analogy that we like tied it in a cloth. The tongue, we have the tongue, all the senses are wrapped in some paper or a piece of fabric, and if we try to utilize the senses in its propensity, we cannot really taste or enjoy. So by itself, it's basically intoxicating us.
Okay.
We must have develop a spiritual desire, develop a desire to have other kind of association, not material. If we remain in the material platform, you see in the shloka that we read, it's explained that we are just like stars, small stars in the sky. But Krishna is just like the moon or the sun. As soon as the moon is rising or the sun, the stars are disappearing. So if we rely on small stars or association, we're just like a lot of zeros. But if we take all the zeros, 1 0, 2 zeros, and you put 1 beside the zeros, come 10, 100, 1,000, million. So we must take shelter of bona fide authority. Right now, we're taking shelter of nonsense authority. Authority that tells us, oh, you are looking old, you need to go to the gym, you need to take some vitamins, you need to do this, you need to take some meat because you're gonna get weak and sick. So this is nonsense. This society, Srila Prabhupada, society helps the people, especially the young generation, to go to hell, to degrade into the lower spheres, lower astrals, lower species, not to do anything for self-realization, self-degradation basically. So we must understand that there is no point in taking care of the hair, taking care of the belly, of those different things. Yes, we take care of as long as it's necessary, as long as we're in the body, but to get entangled in that, if we drive the car and we don't stop driving, we don't stop the process, we simply sit in the car for 20 years, all our inner organs, they're gonna be damaged, we won't be able to walk after, we're gonna die. We have to supply the activity to the driver, to the soul, to the self, and the activity is Bhakti Yoga. Nothing material can help the soul, you see. But we run just like the animals. They run in the desert, they look, they see a mirage of a nice water pool, whatever, some water, and they run even faster, and what happens? They die, they dehydrate themselves, because they think that this is happiness. My degree in the university that will give me a nice life with a family, nice job, a nice house, I'm gonna happy. And we get there, and then we cannot get enough. You see? And we degrade everyone around us. So we have to take responsibility, understand that we have to take the process and show the example to the rest of the people. We don't have to, we're not trying to, Srila Prabhupada, he wasn't trying to so-called convert all the world. It's enough for a small portion of people, in Montreal to start chanting, to start following the rabbis, wherever, come here to the temple, and the whole all of Montreal will be purified. Just like me and my godbrother Pujit, we go, we distribute books. You can see people, they are already, they blissful, just looking at the literatures, what to say about speaking. So they don't even have to read, they just associate with the devotees. Very, very important. You know, right now people, especially Saturday, what they do, they go to the bar, they go to this, go to that party, this association, that. Simply suffer. But we can end all the suffering very simply by knowledge. Not any knowledge, transcendental knowledge. So I will close the discussion right now. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai. Jai.